Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Sullivan reporting for Out and About Nashville this Monday, August 3rd. Thank you for joining us. Mikey Corona of the Mockingbird is not holding back after he says a member of a bachelorette party who refused to wear a mask over the weekend intentionally coughed on an employee. Corona says the party of 10 was brought upstairs and seated in two separate tables only inches apart. Some of them, including the bride-to-be, got upset and demanded to sit in a longer table that would hold all of them.
She grabbed this table and was like trying to bring it closer and connect the tables together after they were told that they can't do it.
Now, as they were leaving, Corona says one of the ladies intentionally coughed a few times on his assistant general manager standing next to him. The assistant general manager must now take a COVID-19 test and quarantine before returning to work, which can put a strain on operations. Corona has filed a police report. You can keep watch on News Channel 5 today for an update from Matthew Torres. Several complaints have been launched after hundreds packed a house party this weekend mid-pandemic, but officers say there's little they can do. Out and About Nashville news partner News Channel 5's Levi Ismail has that report.
There were just tons of everything. Just whatever you think of a party, that's what it was, just times 20.
With what, 200 people inside a house?
I would say there's probably more than that.
Across Fern Avenue, Andy and his friends weren't really sure what they were seeing. Yes, there were long lines, music, and free drinks, but a party? Almost too surreal to believe, until they made it inside.
I mean, I'm still recovering from this night.
Promoted as the big unveiling for the fashion house intended for photo shoots, people showed up to snap pics or in some cases get tattoos.
From 11 to 3, that's how long I was there for.
At the front gate, this was as much as we could get from who we believe to be the homeowners. Shortly after, we get this statement from someone claiming to own the house, and he says he talked to police beforehand, and there were no violations or citations needed.
They stopped by, the police, just to make sure everything was okay, but there were no problems.
It's not like they kicked people out.
No, not at all.
MNPD says unless something changes with the city's pandemic plan, there's nothing officers can do to enforce mandates on private property. Metro Public Health says they are investigating but won't say what rules may have been broken. Not that anyone here seems too concerned. For them, it was something they couldn't miss and likely won't forget anytime soon.
I mean, there's the usual risks that you take when you're going with a group of people, just getting trampled or something, but I didn't see any concerns really. I was just there to have a good time.
Levi Ismail, News Channel 5.
You can read more on that story at newschannel5.com. Nashville Airport has opened its fourth major concourse midway through its $1.3 billion expansion project. Out and About Nashville is one of the first local media outlets that received a tour of this $292 million part of the project. Art from local artists and pleasantly surprising new customer convenience decorate the 115,000 new square feet of terminal space, adding to the airport's original 1 million square feet.
15,000 square feet in this new addition. I imagine a lot of planning, processing went into how you were going to implement the different phases. How many phases in the building of this concourse?
Well, we have 3 large construction projects. We call them projects 1, 2, and 3, nothing big about that. But overall, we're going to add 500,000 square feet. So the airport is about 1 million square feet big right now. And when we finish, we'll be about 1.5 million square feet.
Does that count outside and runways as well?
No, that's just the buildings that you got air conditioning and light and all that. So this is 115,000 square feet running down here. And then each of those ticketing wings that we talked about right behind those charts right there, that'll be another 100,000 square feet. There's 100,000 on the north. Then when we move the building out, it'll add another 200,000 square feet. So that's how we get to about 1.5 million square feet. Yeah, it's pretty big. A big electric bill.
That was BNA CEO Doug Crulin walking me through the projects. You can read more about them and take a tour on our website at outandaboutnashville.com. What's going on with airfare during the pandemic? From price drops to sharp increases, airfare has fluctuated in a way that can leave many travelers confused. But what is causing these price changes? Scott's Cheap Flights emailed over 2 million members this week to discuss what exactly has been going on since the travel industry was turned upside down. I talked with them to break down some of the confusion. You can read about what's causing it and how to get the cheapest flights on our website at outandaboutnashville.com. COVID-19 has essentially brought our lives to a screeching halt, but we can't remain that way forever. Following widespread shutdowns in the name of public health, many of us now find ourselves at one of life's crossroads where anything is possible. In this way, a global pandemic offers an opportunity of sorts, a chance at a new life and a new community by relocating. Out and About Nashville's Bo Peters has a list of tips for relocating during COVID-19. You can read all of those on our website at outandaboutnashville.com. The Williams Institute is studying implications of the Supreme Court's Bostock decision, and millions of LGBT people could gain additional protections from discrimination. In Bostock versus Clayton County, the court held that employment discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity is a form of sex discrimination prohibited by Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Courts have often looked to Title VII case law when interpreting similar provisions in other federal and state laws that apply to housing, public accommodations, education, and other settings. In the current study, researchers analyzed state non-discrimination laws in states without statutes that expressly bar discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity, like Tennessee. You can read more on their findings on our website at outandaboutnashville.com. A very, very happy birthday today to Out and About Nashville editor James Grady. Grady has been managing print editor of Out and About Nashville since 2014. He's covered numerous milestones in the Nashville LGBTQ community, including the legalization of gay marriage, the first time the LGBTQ community was acknowledged in a presidential State of the Union address, and nationwide calls for an end to conversion therapy. Here he is on News Channel 5's Out and About today discussing the fake news narrative's effect on local media.
Isn't a way of saying that's not a real story. You know, you could say that about any human interest story, but what they're really trying to do is they're following the same playbook as Stalinists or fascists anywhere will do, which is discredit the media, claim that what they're doing is fake, and then claim that your propaganda line is the only true news out there. And we end up with one narrative and no truth.
Well, and you're right. I mean, now you can wish James a happy birthday and send him your story ideas at editor@outandaboutnashville.com. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Stay safe, wear your mask, and we'll see you next time.